After cutting over 3,000 plus logs with my sawmill, there are 3 essential tools I find myself using every single day. So in this video, I'll show you what these 3 tools are and how you can use them to save time, save your back, and make things like moving logs a whole lot easier. To start, I want to show you the #1 tool that helped me stop back strains. Not to mention that handling logs around the mill is easier than ever before. As we all know, it's hard on your body handling these heavy logs around the mill. Whether you're getting the log to the mill on a log deck or flipping a heavy cant on a manual mill, it takes a toll on your back. We should take steps and use tools to make things much easier and protect ourselves from injury. Well, here we are at the log pile, and I'm cutting this log to length. To cut this log all the way through and not get that chain in the dirt and keep it sharp, we need to roll this log. This right here, impossible to move without a tool. One-handed, I could not move this log without this tool. One hand very easily rolls this over. This is my 60-inch LOGRITE cant hook. I prefer these cant hooks over others. I'm gonna get you in here a little closer and show you why. There's a feature built into this that is not built into some. See this right here? This hook will not smash your hand. Now before you buy this, you need to make sure you're not confusing it with something called a peavey, because there is an important difference. A peavey has a pointed spike at the end, useful for prying and wedging and separating logs in forest terrain when dealing with larger logs. A cant hook, on the other hand, features a toe hook. This is the toe hook. It's for a secondary biting edge, ideal for gripping and rolling logs. I personally like the cant hook so much, I have 2 of them, a 60 and a 30-inch. But if you can only afford one, I would highly recommend the 60. With this size, you'll be able to handle whatever log you're working with. Now, while a cant hook is very useful, the next tool is even more important because it makes sure you achieve those perfectly straight cuts that we're all after. Now, before we move on to the next tool, the tool that's in this package, I would like to invite you to subscribe to our newsletter. Here, we provide tips, tricks, and hacks to help you save time and make more money with your sawmill. The link is down in the description. Go check it out. Now, do you remember when you started your sawmill journey and witnessed the very first wavy cuts and had no clue of what was causing it or how to fix it? Oh, it's too freshly burned on my memory. There was a number of things that I blamed it on. The blades, the logs, the blade lubricant, and the list goes on and on. When the problem was right under my nose and it was getting overlooked because I did not know. So I'm gonna show you the problem area you should check and the tool to fix it. Now, if you were guessing the levelness of the blade was causing wavy cuts, you're right on the money. But did you know there's a simple tool that easily allows you to perfect this process and achieve those straight cuts 100% of the time? I'm going to bring you in here and show you what I used to do and explain why that does not work. Now, these roller guides are to make sure this blade is riding perfectly flat and level or parallel to the cutting deck. I used to loosen these up all the way, take them off of the blade, and then I would eyeball the roller here to the blade and get that roller as straight as I could with the blade on this side and that side, and then tighten my deflection bolt down, which is a 1/4 inch deflection. You should never do your blade like that. That's not how it's supposed to work. Ask me how I know. For the simple reason, on top of this particular mill, and I'm sure most mills are like this, there's a rubber belt that goes on the outside of this steel wheel. When you put the tension on that blade as it's supposed to, this blade doesn't necessarily sit perfectly flat. That rubber belt can tilt one way or the other. The goal here is to straighten these rollers to make your blade perfectly flat and level so you can cut fast, clean, and as straight as possible. This tool allows you to do that. This particular one is from Cook's Saw. Comes in 2 pieces and you assemble it just like so. This is the tool. Little rusty. Now that you know what this blade leveling tool is and what it looks like, I'm gonna pull you on here a little closer and I'm gonna give you a quick demonstration on how to set this thing up. Of course, you're gonna need your straight edge. You'll need this to go from one bump to the other. I'll explain why here in just a second. To set this thing up, 2 basic pieces. This comes in from the bottom, this slips in
through there. Now, I have a center mark in this straight edge right here that is 12 inches so that I can get as precise as I possibly can. Make sure you set this straight edge in the gullet. Let me bring you in here where you can see. You have set on those teeth. See, that one's down, up, and straight. You want to make sure and get this edge in the gullet, in between the teeth. It don't matter which one, but you want to get it right here. That's the flattest part of the blade. If you was to set it on this upturned or this downturned, it will throw your measurement off by kicking this one way or the other. Now that you have this set up, you're gonna put your straight edge under it. You'll measure this end, and then you will measure the opposite end. Both of those ends should measure exactly the same. That way you know your blade is running flat and true. If they're not, do some tiny adjustments. Once that one's set up, then you will slide everything over and do the same exact thing on your movable side. Then you know both of your roller guides are set up and your blade is running true. If you look down in the description, I'll have a video there and I'll take you step by step and show you every nut to tighten, every bolt to turn, and show you how to set this mill up and get it square and true.
Now for the most interesting but simple tool I have in my arsenal, to be honest, it's more of a hack than a tool. And no, it is not this level. I have this and I keep it at any sawmill job and around my sawmill at all times. To be honest, you're more likely to have some laying around your house not knowing the benefit it has in setting up your sawmill. Every time you move your mill, you have to set it back up and re-level. You walk around with this level, cranking jacks up one at a time, leveling the cutting bed. You're leveling from end to end and from side to side. But are you fine-tuning the cutting deck itself? That's where this tip and this tool comes in. Have you guessed it? Comment down below with your guess, because I'm really curious on how many of you know what I'm talking about. Get a drum roll, it's a string. I'm going to show you how I use it to make sure my cutting bed is to perfection. Of course, we have to set the jacks down on solid ground, preferably one block of wood for each set of jacks. Using this level, I make sure the mill is level from side to side and decently level from end to end. And of course, with this mill being well over 20 feet long, doing this with a level cannot get you exact. You may have a belly or a crown in the middle of your cutting deck. I get my string. You can go ahead and have this thing pre-made to where you have two eyes, one on each end. I have a bolt here. I'm going to hook it on this end and stretch it all the way down to the opposite end. You want this as tight as you can get it without breaking the string. Now you can see exactly what adjustments you need to make, say right here in the middle. Look here, see light underneath that string? So I can get you in there a little closer to see that. All right, you have 1/8 of an inch right here in the middle. I'm gonna crank this up and let you see what's gonna happen to this string. Boom, we made landfall right there. It has no slack. We're here. We have no slack. Here we have no slack. And just that fast, we have perfected this cutting bed. So if you don't have any string, go get yourself some. Keep some around the mill. Try it the next time you're leveling your mill out. And the thing is, even though you now know 3 essential tools you need around your sawmill, there's techniques to master to help you be the most efficient sawyer in your neck of the woods. Because if you don't, you will be wasting time and you will lose money. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, then watch this next video where I'll show you how to set your blade to perfection using that blade leveling tool. So you can boost your production and efficiency and you can make more money with your sawmill.